Addressing you today as Mayor of Webb City, I'm Mayor Ragsdale, and it's not news to anyone that we are in the middle of a national and worldwide crisis with the COVID-19 virus. We want to give you the most updated information we can and also reassure you that your city, Webb City, is in good shape. I want to begin by saying to you that we have not enacted any emergency ordinances in Webb City as other cities around us have. And yet we expect, and I encourage and urge you to monitor your activity and actually do the things that are in those ordinances. We would like you to monitor your activity and keep social distancing. We would like you to make sure that you don't have gatherings of more than 50 or 50% of capacity in buildings. We would like you to take care of all of those good hygiene measures that are in place, and we're asking you to do that as a very, very strong recommendation. I do want to say, for those of you who are Southwest Missourians, and we are known for being a bit stubborn and wondering if things are real when they're told to us, I have become a believer, and I will give you only one anecdotal piece of information. When Democrats and Republicans begin to compliment one another in Washington, we know that there must be a real crisis and not just one driven by the media or politicians. So we take this very seriously. I will tell you that we have not had any reports in Jasper County, but we will have. When that occurs, it will be because testing has begun in earnest, and it does not mean that there is a giant peak of cases. It just means that we know about them. When that occurs, we may be back and talk to you again about how it is that we will react to that and how we are limiting the access and the distancing and so on. Today, I want to demonstrate for you something that you should already know, and that is that we have tremendous unity within our city. We have long been known for how our city officials in the government, how our school officials in a wonderful school district, how our business community and our churches cooperate. We are now beyond cooperation in complete unity, and we will work together until this crisis is over to see that the needs of our citizens are met. And we want you to know that today. With that in mind, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Tony Rossetti, our superintendent of schools, to fill you in on activities that are taking place with the school district. Tony?
Thank you, Mayor. We have several different things that the school is going to be able to provide. A few comments as we get started, though, is that the school district of Webb City has been around since 1877. We've survived a couple of world wars. We've survived a depression, a recession. So we are planning a new stage of what we're able to provide our students and our parents. And as we work through those things, I ask for patience, understanding, and unity as we navigate some waters that we've never been in before. The school is currently being able to provide, we're able to provide services in respect to food services. We have campuses that are available for grab and go. Please check our Facebook page to log in to find out where those centers are and how to sign up for those meals. We are currently in the process of developing educational academic plans to be able to push out to parents, because we know they're in a situation now that is very something new. We want to provide support. We want to provide instruction to our parents to be able to do things with our students and still not stop the learning. I can tell you that learning for a kindergarten student to a high schooler is going to look different. And we're going to provide venues and avenues for our parents to be able to access and our students to be able to use. We're just starting now being able to push that information out. It is a process, and I asked again for you to be patient as we figure out how we're going to best deliver those services, and they could evolve. They could change as things develop. So we are continuing to work with our teachers about how we can provide services. I just ask that you follow the mayor's directives of what we consider social distancing. Gathering students together, even though they're not at school, is not something that's going to help. I know it's very tempting, but we ask that you do these things to help mitigate the spread of this disease. So we ask that you do everything that the mayor asks, and on our part, we're going to try and provide services that deliver instructional support to you at home. At this time, I'd like to introduce the City Administrator, Carl Francis.
Thank you, Tony. My name is Carl Francis. I'm the City Administrator here in Webb City. In the wake of this crisis, what we have done thus far is basically City Hall, the lobby is closed. We're still conducting business. The transactions can be done through the drive-through. The courtroom is still open. People can still come in and converse with city employees, but it's going to be a little different than what we've done in the past. We're all facing a situation that we're just not used to dealing with, but we're taking what actions we think that are necessary. Some of the things we've done, as everybody knows, the sporting programs in King Jack Park and the Webb City Parks and Recreation Program, those are all postponed and canceled for the current time. We don't know how long this is going to last, but we're going to work real hard once things start to subside to get those programs back up and running. Utility shutoffs, we have made the decision thus far. We will not be conducting any utility shutoffs in the near future. We'll be evaluating those on a case-by-case basis. I encourage you to do what you can to keep your payments up because the bills, the amounts will still continue to come in. All city employees, city employee travel has been halted. We've taken those steps to try and protect our employees. We've encouraged our employees not to travel outside of the area, limit their travel as much as possible. We've instituted where they have to report to their supervisor if they've been into another area that's known to have some serious infections rates. But right now, all meetings in City Hall, with the exception of the council meeting, is canceled. We've been postponing everything that we can that's not critical. The council meeting will go on. Council members will be given an opportunity for a virtual entry into the meeting. The public will be restricted to the outer lobby. Public can still attend the meeting if they wish. We highly discourage that. But if someone does wish to attend the council meeting, right now, with the way things are going here in City Hall, there's not going to be a lot on these council meetings other than taking care of the absolute necessary business. Police and fire departments, as you can see, are here. I'd like to introduce Don Melton now, who has taken a lot of steps with the police department. But first, I want to mention, we've been in contact with our businesses. I'd like to mention that the Webb City Chamber, if you haven't been on their Facebook page, you need to check that out. They've done a lot of work to keep businesses open and active and using their drive-throughs and deliveries and everything like that. I commend the Chamber for the work they've done with that. With that, I'd like to introduce our Chief of Police, Don Melton.
Thank you, Carl. While it's not business as usual, we are still responding to calls for service, the emergency and priority type, traffic crashes, assaults, and progress crimes, where the person or suspect is still on scene. But our officers are protecting themselves as well as the community by wearing gloves and possibly masks when they respond. We're trying to handle minor calls for service over the telephone as much as possible, but understand that if you need us, call us, we'll come out. Currently, the PD is closed to visitors or tours. We do have access to officers through the lobby. Switching hats for just a moment, I'm also the Emergency Management Director, and it's spring in the 4 states. We're coming up on our busiest storm season of the year. We feel that the immediate threat of a tornado outweighs the potential for infectious disease. So we are opening our FEMA shelters. Luckily, most of our FEMA shelters are large enough they can handle quite a few people and can still maintain a safe social distancing. At this time, I'd like to introduce Fire Chief Andrew Roten.
Thank you, Don. I'd just like to start out by saying, first off, it is kind of business as usual for us with just a few modifications. The first thing being we're taking a few extra steps to limit the amount of exposures our personnel might have to potentially infected patients. By doing that, we've altered some response levels on our call levels that we go on. With that being said, I want you to understand we are prepared to handle it to the best of our capabilities. We're staying in constant contact with the City Hall and the city leaders and business community. We're staying in contact with all of our surrounding departments and local emergency management. And we've got a pretty good plan in place right now to make sure we can continue those services from here on out through this whole ordeal. I do want to stress, Chief Melton talked about his officers wearing gloves and masks and stuff. You're going to see our personnel in maybe a little bit more protective equipment than you've seen in the past. I want you to rest assured That doesn't mean we think you've got anything or we're scared about that. We want to let you know that we're trying to protect our people as well as you. We want to make sure we're not spreading that around as well. So you're going to see a few more extra measures. But other than that, we're going to be business as usual. You need us, we're going to be there, and we have plenty of help in the community supporting us. At this time, I'll turn back over to Mayor Ragsdale.
Thank you, gentlemen. I want to give a final word of encouragement. What we want you to know is this. There is a healthy difference between good fear and panic. We are taking this seriously, but we are not panicked. I also want you to know that this is a national and worldwide crisis. How we handle this will be a part of the stories that our children tell their children and grandchildren many years from now. And with that said, I want to encourage you to do some healthy things. Get a routine if you're quarantined in place. Don't abuse alcohol. Create activities with you and your families that will give you things to do where you sense accomplishment. And very simply said, we would invite you to pray for us as we pray for you. We will get through this together. I have no hard announcement, but I will tell you this. When this is over, Webb City knows how to celebrate. We will have some sort of party together, and we will tell our stories. But for now, stay vigilant and do what you believe is best for your family and your community. Thank you.